Tonight, we got two of my best buddies. We got Mr. Greg Whitfield over on the left side of the stage as you're looking.
Thank you, Dave.
And we got Mr. George Ensle. George is the man with the hat. Now, I've got to tell y'all real quick before they start, because these are two of my favorite people, two of my favorite artists, so it's an honor to have them here. But George and Greg both, when Harold, most of you know my dad, he would have been 89 yesterday. He passed away in December, and y'all are aware of all that if you come here regularly. Both of these guys drove from Austin, or Greg from Round Rock and George from South Austin, all the way to Denison to perform at Harold's Memorial, and it was a very special day. It's the only time they've ever had memorial service that lasted 3 hours, but we had a good time. You guys welcome Greg Whitfield and Mr. George Ensle.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks, y'all. Uncle Jack always was around her. He drove a pickup Ford. He drank beers in Sears easy chairs, reading Louis L'Amour. I'd sleep on his sofa some Saturday nights. When I was with Uncle Jack, I felt a little more alive. Uncle Jack never was a wage slave. He was his own man, with his own recipe for living. Ran a hamburger stand. He had a sign that read, "Gone fishing." He never would be one to let work get in the way of us having some fun. The black sheep of the family, sometimes late at night, he'd show up at our house a little bit too tight. Mama tucked him in on the sofa, and when she thought he was asleep, I'd watch her lean over and kiss him on the cheek. Uncle Jack never missed my birthday. Always come around with a brand new crisp $5 bill he got from the bank downtown. He'd say, "I'll arm wrestle you for it." He'd always let me win. And he'd say, "Maybe next time," with a wink and a grin. Uncle Jack always played catch with me when no one else had time. Taught me how to throw a football, how to time a fishing line. Taught me how to sink the 8-ball and win it on the break. He said close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades. You know, I never told a soul, but when I was a kid, and I'd spend the night with him, one thing he always did. Well, after he'd tuck me in and thought I was asleep, he'd lean over that old sofa, kiss me on the cheek. Jack didn't grow old and in the way, he just moved down to the coast, where man can dance, remember France, and do a little toasting. And I still go to see him every now and then, living by his wits and the grace of God. There'll be no change in him. Uncle Jack. Thank you. Everything sound okay out there? Good. Good coffee, Randy. Let's try this. Do a little love song here. You are the daybreak on, a way to carry on. You're a new chance. You are the morning dew on all that we've been through. You're a slow dance. You're the shadows in the pines where we lose track of time. You're what I miss, the river in the rain, washing away the pain, the soft kiss. You're the eye of the hurricane, and when I'm in your arms, I know I can remain protected from the storm. Should the world outside our door lose its way in the wind and rain, I'll weather out this life with you to lay beside in the eye of the hurricane. You're the moonlight on the snow of love we've yet to know, still falling. You're the wind in a Mustang's mane, running free from living's chains. I hear you calling. You're the sunlight streaming through a rain cloud on blue waters around me. You're the stars out on the road, baby, clear as words unspoken since you found me. You're the eye of the hurricane, and when I'm in your arms, I know I can remain protected from the storm. Should the world outside our door lose its way in the wind and rain, I'll weather out this life for you to lay beside in the eye of the hurricane. Thank you. All right. Anybody here ever been to a cowboy church? Yes. I used to play the one just up the road here. It's kind of the mother church. Those of you who haven't played, it's who haven't gone. They're a very inclusive and very, very accepting bunch of folks. Kind of the come as you are religion. Greg and I play quite a few of them, so they'd have to be pretty inclusive.
Kind of like in the music room.
Kind of like inclusive, but they have a great sense of humor at the cowboy church. I was playing one the other day, and they were having a food drive. Men were competing with the women to see who could bring the most canned goods, and they were going to win the overall prize, whoever brought in the most canned goods. And I had to ask them what the overall prize was, and they said, it's a pair of overalls. This is a cowboy church. And when I sing Come Down, if you would please sing Come Down Children right after I sing it. Way out in the country, on the camp meeting grounds, there's a gathering every Sunday from them hill country towns. We meet at the dance pavilion, we sit on folding chairs, sing them loud, clap our hands, and shake them in the air. Oh, won't you come down, children, hear the loving word. Come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. Come down, children, be the living word. Won't you come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. Now some come in rusty pickups, and some come in Cadillacs, and some come riding Harleys, some on horses' backs. 'Cause everybody's welcome at the church that has no walls. Some come in their Sunday best, some in bib overalls. Won't you come down, children, hear the loving word. Come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. Come down, children, be the living word. Come down, children, to the Cowboy Church. Preacher keeps it simple. He says we've all gone astray, but if you want back in the herd, live the cowboy way. Always help the needy, love your neighbor every day. Always fight the good fight, don't forget to pray. Come down, children, hear the loving word. Come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. Come down, children, be the living word. Come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. Come down, children, come to Cowboy Church. All right. Officially christened the room, Randy. Amen. The cottonwood taught me how to listen to the wind. The willow showed me how to bend. The mighty oak taught me how to stand strong in a storm, and all that can become of an acorn. The cypress tree taught me the lesson in a flood. Keep my roots deep and I won't budge. The pine tree taught me how to reach for the sky. The cedar how to lay low and get by when it's dry. How I've grown, who I've come to be. These lessons learned, my history reads like the rings on a tree. God's truth and beauty has taught me all along. The rosewood on this guitar wrote my songs. Ah, sweet magnolia brought me love on a southern summer breeze. The giant redwood brought me to my knees. And how I've grown, who I've come to be. These lessons learned, my history reads like the rings on a tree. And I've learned what's lost in the fall brings new beginnings in the spring, and one more rain. How I've grown, who I've come to be. These lessons learned, my history reads like the rings on a tree. Thank you. Wrote that song with Owen Temple. Is it too early to tell my joke? Well,
You should tell them all night.
I did a survey the other day, and I asked 10 different women what their favorite shower soap was, and they all gave me the same answer. How'd you get in here?
That's good. I like that.
Greg to laugh.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. This is called a Fender, although I think it was a bumper at one point. And it's called a resonator guitar. Play a song I wrote with Danny Brooks, and Danny Brooks has played here, right? Very soulful Canadian boy. I said he was the guy to write this one with. I had the idea.
Hey, Bob.
Like I say, he's from Canada, which is the only country that was named by pulling letters out of a hat. It's true. C-A-N-A-D-A. They don't get any better than it. This is my good material here. I've been doggone with things that didn't work. The short end of the stick, I had this old hard hurt, but nothing comes close to being caught up in the curse. Knee deep in the river, dying of thirst. Now you never get enough of the stuff that you don't need. And those that have the most are asking for the least. I had myself a gold mine, but I never knew its worth. Well, I was knee deep in a river, dying of thirst. That's when I discovered, the river I was standing in would give me the best when I was down at my worst, knee deep in the river and dying of thirst. I was knee deep in the river, standing knee deep in the river, standing knee deep in the river, dying of thirst. One more time, I was knee deep in the river, standing knee deep in the river, standing knee deep in the river, dying of thirst. Knee deep in the river, knee deep in the river, knee deep in the river and dying of thirst. Knee deep in the river, dying of It's got a little bit of attitude in
It sounds more menacing if you say resonator.
Yeah.
Like a Vinjar.
Oh.
This is a song about coming out of a drought, both the spiritual and meteorological. Try saying that real fast. Meteorological. What better place to do it than in the hill country of Texas? That's pretty close, isn't it? Sweet Texas rain is falling in the hills, filling the streams, shining up old stones. The sun breaks through to a river sighs and sounds, and me and you coming back around. Smooth Texas breeze moves through ancient trees, filling the sky God's own poetry. And then the turtle dove sings of beauty to be found, precious love, she's coming back around. So let us rest a while, let us find our smile. We'll be still and know this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. fine Texas diamonds are shimmering in the sun. They're filling your eyes with dreams and memories of the ways eternally we're bound. Keep on coming back around. Texas rain is falling in the hills. Get the hard ones out of the way. Greg and I wrote a song together, and we're going to play that for you right now. It's a song that was inspired by the human condition at its finest during World War I, in the first winter of the war to end all wars. Which they thought was going to be a very short-lived war. The Kaiser provided Kaiser Wilhelm provided dark German chocolates for his soldiers in the trenches for Christmas presents, and the king, what was his name? George?
More than likely.
Who was doing that? What was the king's name during
George is common over
War
there.
I?
It's like Bush over here.
We got a really smart group of folks here. King Leroy, the British king. King, what's his name? He gave his British soldiers the fine cigars. Well, what happened? Do you think it was what?
I think it was Edward.
Sounds like something.
King Edward?
I think so.
That's right, the cigar. King Edward, of course. King Edward cigars is what. I don't know about this. Better close that door. Don't let him out. King Edward, anyway, he supplied his soldiers with cigars. But Christmas Eve, all was silent on the Western Front there, and the Germans started singing Silent Night in German. In the trench warfare, you know, they were within earshot of each other, and so the British laid their guns down and started singing along with them in English, and then the rest is in the song. But everything in this song is factual. A Whitfield Ensle original. Belgian night was filled with stars not far from our guns, when we heard the Christmas carols from their trenches being sung. The words we could not understand, but the melodies were clear. They were the same ones we had learned back in our childhood years. Soon we joined in with them, singing in harmony with the boys a day ago we killed as enemies. But when we sang together of our blessed Savior's birth, for all mankind there for a time we knew peace on earth. Now it's 3 on a match, boys, tonight we'll have no fear. Tommy and Fritz, boys, are sharing Christmas cheer. Let the generals give their orders from the Kaiser and the King. It's for the Prince of Peace, boys, tonight we're gonna sing. It's for the Prince of Peace, tonight we're gonna sing. Christmas dawn they left the trenches, shovels in their hands, to bury their dead brothers in a frozen no man's land. One by one we dropped our guns, climbed out to do the same. Put our boys in foreign soil with crosses without names. The dreaded Huns were boys like us, looking like old men, whose fragile lives fought to survive like candles in the wind. Shell-shocked from the rounds of artillery we threw, snuffed out by snipers' bullets, diphtheria and flu. But when we shook their hands, suddenly there was no war. We played a game of soccer and we heard the birds once more. Shared cigarettes and stories of our loved ones left behind. How each day we prayed we'd get to see them one more time. The 3 on a match boys tonight will have no fear. Tommy and Fritz boys are sharing Christmas cheer. If the generals give their orders from the Kaiser and the King, it's for the Prince of Peace, tonight we're gonna sing. For the Prince of Peace, tonight we're gonna sing. They had to move us down the line, for we refused to fire on those boys we sang with in that ragtag Christmas choir. But we remembered on that day what he was sent here for, and we prayed this would be the war to end all wars. 3 on a match boys tonight will have no fear. Tommy and Fritz boys are sharing Christmas cheer. Let the generals give their orders from the Kaiser and the King. It's for the Prince of Peace, boys, tonight we're gonna sing. For the Prince of Peace, tonight we're gonna sing. For the Prince of Peace, tonight we're gonna sing.
Very good.
True story. Mankind at his finest hour. We should lighten things up. Let's do another sing-along, since this crowd is so talented and willing. That's the important thing. When I travel around, people say, "You're from Austin, aren't you?" And I say, "No, I'm from South Austin." That's where all the Bubbas and the Bubettes live. We have a thing called Large Trash Collection Day twice a year, where you, citywide they ask you to put all your large, bulky items in your front yard. And so in North Austin, they take all the stuff out of their backyard and put it in their front yard, and the city comes by with the trucks and hauls it off to the landfill. In South Austin, you take all the junk out of your backyard and put it in your front yard, and your neighbor takes all the junk out of your front yard and puts it in his backyard. I call it redneck recycle. It's pretty effective. All you have to sing on this song is Hillbilly Heaven, just like you were in church. Billy Bob wears a ball cap backwards and aviator shades. He got black grease neath his fingernails and a little on his face. With a semi-toothless smile, he said, "Howdy do?" I was having second thoughts about what I was about to do. He's a shade tree mechanic and my alternator was gone. He said, "If you brought one, in an hour I'll have her on." I said I had a rebuilt, it's sitting in my trunk. He said, "Put it right back," and that's when I saw Billy's jungle of junk. Billy Bob's backyard, it's Pack Rat's paradise. It's a redneck collection from a Bubba's way of life. It's hillbilly heaven with an old rock standing guard. Whoa, over all and white trash treasures filling Billy Bob's backyard. 4 Skeeter breeding tires leaning up against an ugly shed. A Studebaker pickup up on blocks of grass growing in the bed. He got your tin roof and warped plywood making a crooked fence. Slimy water standing in a John boat that's got about 100 dents. Rusty rebar and bags of sackcrete that got wet and turned to stone. Motorless lawn mowers by a clothesline haywired on to his girlfriend's Harley tank top and his Harley tee. A dead water heater and 2 long chairs with ripped out strap seats. He got the Billy Bob's backyard. It's a pack rat's paradise. A redneck collection from a Bubba's way of life. It's hillbilly heaven with an old rock standing guard. Whoa, over all them white trash treasures filled Billy Bob's backyard. Beer cans, beer cans, beer cans thrown in scattered piles. Chickens pecking in the dirt to an 8-track playing Born to be Wild. Now Billy cleared away just enough space, squeezed my car between a satellite dish with bird nest and a broke down washing machine. I was leaning on the chopper frame, watching him sweat and cuss neath the torn tarp strung from his mobile home to an old Volkswagen bus. Billy Bob's backyard, it's a pack rat's paradise. Well, it's a redneck collection from a Bubba's way of life. Here we go. Hillbilly heaven with an old rock standing guard. Whoa, all them white trash treasures filling Billy Bob's backyard. Holding it down, boy, and give him a beer or something. Billy, Billy. All right. We're going to do a Greg Whitfield song now.
Oh.
Besides being the best guitar player in Texas and therefore the world, he's one of the best songwriters.
I was raised by a good example. I was shown instead of told how a life well lived can change the world in ways we never know. How we handle one another is the measure of our worth, and it just may be the reason we were put here on this earth. So I'll settle for a life well lived. I'll settle for a job well done. I'll settle for the things my family needs, some time for a little fun. I'd rather have 1,000 friends than dollars when at last my race is run. I'll settle for a life well lived. I'll settle for a job well done. For a child who grows up knowing that his father is a man who improves the lives of others in every way he can. There is no greater lesson, no gift that can compare, than to see firsthand a life well lived and the fruit that it can bear. So I'll settle for a life well lived. I'll settle for a job well done. I'll settle for the things my family needs, and some time for a little fun. I'd rather have 1,000 friends than dollars. When at last my race is run, I'll settle for a life well lived. I'll settle for a job well done. I'll settle for a life well lived. I'll settle for a job well done. I'll try to be a father with an open heart who loves his son. That's how I hope I am remembered when at last my race is run, as one who chose a life well lived and a job well done.
Thank you very much.
I'm about to do a show with Taylor Pye down there, and she's going to be here next.
Oh,
So
cool.
The fourth Saturday of next month, I will be here, and I believe Miss Vicki Gatling is going to open for her. So,
Cool.
interesting night in here.
I'll give Randy and Helen a big round of applause for putting this together. And to keep doing it. Grandma's apron smelled like bleach and bark, the white flower. Sometimes she'd reach down into the pocket and pull out a treat, saying how about a little something sweet. It might be a sugar cookie or a piece of fudge. I could feel the warmth, I could feel the love. Grandma baked into every batch, wearing that apron and starting from scratch. Well, it was all cotton, it was soft and warm. Used to let me use it for my Superman cape, and held me behind it when it thunderstormed. Grandma's apron had power, Grandma's apron had grace. Grandpa's vest was corduroy. We'd watch old westerns in his lazy boy. He'd reach in the pocket and pull out a toy, saying my sidekick's been a good boy. It might be a marble like the eye of a cat, or a whistle from a box of Cracker Jacks. That vest held his sweet surprises. It came with a wink from his twinkling eye. You know, he used to let me wear it when I rode my stick horse pony. I was chasing down outlaws, badge on my chest. And when we took naps in his lazy boy, Grandpa's vest, knew the cowboy way. Grandpa's vest knew tenderness. To divide their things, brother wanted the car, sister wanted the rings. I said I want the way they loved and blessed. Give me Grandma's apron, Grandpa's vest. Now my lady wears Grandma's apron, baking sugar cookies when the grandkids come. And I wear Grandpa's vest in my lazy boy, grandkids on my lap. I pull out a toy while we're watching Gene and Roy. Hop along Cassidy, Cisco Kid, Lone Ranger, wagon track, gun smoke, have gun travel, wanted dead or alive, the rifleman, the rebel, rawhide, Cheyenne, lawman, maverick, white earth, and the Duke. I played that the other day, and a gal walked up and said, I had my CDs up on the stage. She said, which CD is that one on? I told her, Small Town Sundown. She said, you know, my grandma, you left out a part there that my grandma used to use her apron for a prayer closet. She said she would pull her apron up over her head and pray. You didn't dare disturb grandma when she was praying in her prayer closet. She was probably praying that she wouldn't kill the grandkids. We'll do one more and take a short break. Hope y'all stick around. Thanks again to Randy and Helen and Reno. And thanks, Harold, for joining us on stage here. In spirit, he loved this song. I asked for strength and I got troubles to get me straight and strong. I asked for wisdom and I got problems that taught me right from wrong. I asked for courage and I got dangers to get me through my fears. I asked for answers and I got silence that taught me how to hear. I asked for love and I got strangers who needed a helping hand. I asked for mercy, I got an old friend who needed another chance. I asked for beauty, I got to see the world through the eyes of a child. I asked for understanding and got to see an old one smile. I got the world in a raindrop, got the promise in a seed. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. When I asked for years, I got moments instead. And when I asked for a feast, I got my daily bread. I asked for wealth, I got work, and the hands to make my pay. I asked for truth, I got a lady who stands beside me all the way. I got the world in a raindrop, the promise in a seed. I got all I wanted when I got all I need. I got all I wanted when I got folks. We'll be right back. Here's some more Greg Whitfield songs, too.
We do have CDs of both of these gentlemen in a living room.
And be glad to sign them for you.